Married at First Sight UK. Episode 11, Part 2. I'm back with the second part of our commitment ceremony. First in the hot seat, we have Alexis and Ant. The first thing these guys were asked was, how did their connection come about? Alexis said it happened at the first dinner party. We had a connection, but at the same time, we didn't want to act on it because we were both in relationships. And we wanted to be very respectful of that. The first real question they were asked was, what are they concerned about? Alexis's answer was that she's feeling very guarded right now because of the previous relationship with Jordan. She doesn't want to put herself out there to be rejected all over again. And at the moment, they haven't kissed yet. So that's a weird one. So she's a bit unsure about where this is going to go because he hasn't even made a move on her yet. So she's now questioning, does he really fancy me or not? And then his answer was, this is the first time he's heard this. And on the back end of that, he's saying that he doesn't want to lead her down the wrong path. And they're both thinking everything's all good. And then it doesn't work out. I'm not exactly too sure what to make of that. Their matchmaker Mel did say that there's incredible potential here. So she's looking for them to try and come to a medium on this. But as I said, he's unsure at the moment because he doesn't want to have sex early at this stage. Because in previous relationships, he's had sex very early on and the relationship hasn't worked out. So in this case, he doesn't want to go full speed ahead. So he wants to take things very cautiously. So we're just going to have to wait and see on this one. We're going to have to wait and see. In conclusion, they both decided to stay. Next in the hot seat were Frankie and Maralise. The more I see these two, the more red flags I start to see. Oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I really am not. Anyway, the first question that was asked was about the fallout these two had during the week, which we weren't aware of. Maralise explained it very simply. We had a disagreement and she went to sleep in a different room. That was all she said. I don't get that. That there makes no sense to me. That was no disagreement. That was a full-blown row. She probably felt that her life was in danger, that she needed to go and sleep in a different room. Not too sure what Mr. Frankie's temper's like, but it made her uncomfortable. Red flag. When asked what the row was about, she still didn't explain. No one knows. But she was saying behind that, he is very dominant. But I didn't know him deep enough to know this side of him. Red flag. Red flag. The next person to speak was actually Morag. She threw a question out there. Well, she didn't throw a question. She said to Maralise, you need to speak up because you don't seem to use your voice. And you're always afraid of what Frankie will think or say, rather than be honest with him. Yeah, that's really what she said. And yes, we all agree. And Morag also said that she needs to be more open because you've got 3 experts in front of you and that's their job, to help you. Yeah, that's virtually what she said. Frankie's response behind that was to say, he's of an older age group. He doesn't need to put his business out there. That's virtually what he said. Not in those exact words though, but that's virtually what he said. He's got 20 years above these guys of failed relationships that for him to put himself out there like that after meeting these guys, the matchmakers that is, maybe 3 times in the space of 3 weeks. He's not open and ready for that. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on. Let me get this straight. Isn't that the whole point of the bloody show? Isn't that the whole point of it? Oh, he's wasting my bloody time. Even, who is it? What's his name? Luke. Even Luke says he doesn't open up enough. Even amongst the boys, he doesn't do it. This is Mr. He-Man. Yeah, he's that man. Nothing touches him. Nothing can crack him. He's that guy. But he isn't helping himself. So hang on, he's had 20 years of failed relationships. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? He then turned around and said that we have a ton of honesty and respect in our relationship. He was talking about him and Marilise. And we're all good over here. He was speaking for the both of them. She was smiling, but I don't know what was behind that smile. I can't stand when she does that. She just irritates me. She bloody irritates me. Like I said, I'm not too sure what was behind her smile. Matchmaker Mel then spoke directly to Frankie and was stipulating that we can't help you if we can't see into the relationship. That's what she said. And there was a little bit of an awkward silence. And then it went on to the voting. In conclusion, they've both decided to stay. The next couple in the hot seat were Adam and Taya. As we know, these two are very much in love. They are so loved up, it's not even funny. But they did run into a disagreement this week, as we already know. So the question was, how did they resolve it? They actually described it as a misunderstanding. Of course, we all know this was about the baby issue. Taya then proceeded to talk about the miscarriage that she had, and she got very tearful. She did, however, mention how Adam is very attentive and how he respects her feelings with that situation. And then she went on to say that someone with those traits is very rare to come by, and that she feels so lucky to have him in her life. And with that, it has brought them closer together because they can be so open. Then the other lady matchmaker asked them, how do they see the future? Taya turned around and said she wants 4 kids. Mr. Adam turned around and said he wants 2. So they've decided to meet in the middle with 3. Matchmaker Mel then turned around and said things are moving very quickly, incredibly quickly. Are they finding it overwhelming? Taya's response was no. Her mum always said, when you meet the one, you'll know. And Adam totally agreed with her. And on that note, it was decision time. I really don't need to say it, do I? We all know the answer. They agreed to stay. And our last couple in the hot seat were Megan and Bob. Now, this conversation started with Megan talking about what happened last week, about the mess. We know what mess we're talking about. Jordan, Megan, Alexis, and whoever else was involved. Oh, what a bloody mess. Oh, how did I forget Bob? Of course, Bob. So she was explaining that situation. Mr. Matchmaker was trying to understand how comes they're still here. Bob turned around and said that he's a very forgiving person, and to see Megan upset made him upset, and at the same time she's not a bad person. And that was literally it. That was Bob's explanation. And then Megan went on to say that when they got home that evening, and they were talking. To see Bob upset made her upset, that she wanted to hug him, and something shifted in her at that time. She felt that she owed it to him to try. That's what she said. Yeah, that was it. Mr. Matchmaker then asked the question to Megan, are you here for yourself or are you here for Bob? Her answer was, I'm here for Bob. But Mr. Matchmaker said, no, you should be here for yourself, not for someone else. Because that says misery. Woo! Ooh, that's a line. Mr. Matchmaker then asked Bob whether he trusts Megan. His answer was not 100%. But at the same time, he wanted to draw a line under it, because if he didn't, there'll be no point in going forward. The next question thrown at Megan was from my favourite matchmaker, Miss Mel. Yes, I love her bluntness. I love her bluntness. She turned around and said to Megan, Megan, can you make me understand why you chose to have an affair? Oh, yes. That's what she said. Her answer was that she was feeling very alone and that the marriage wasn't the fairy story that she wished for. And then her and Jordan started talking. They connected. They seem to have had an in-depth conversation, which Alexis wasn't aware of, so it seems. Her and Jordan thought they were a better match. Then one thing led to another, then they kissed. With that being said, Alexis put her point of view across in regards to she thought it was just a kiss. She never knew that they had a conversation, and she feels like she's been talked about, which she wasn't feeling comfortable with. So her and Megan got into a little spat. Now Alexis again doesn't trust her. She's afraid, is she going to do it again? She then said that she can't apologise enough. I've apologised so many times. How much more times can I apologise? She feels that she is paying for it over and over and over again, and which is the reason why she's still here, to try and repair something that wasn't really there in the first place. Ooh, that's a lot of words. And Bob's sitting by her side looking very sullen, not sure what to do with this information, not sure what to do with himself. Oh, you can't help feeling sorry for him. Oh, this is like flogging a dead horse. It really is. I don't understand why these guys are still here. I don't know why he's still trying. It disturbs me to see him in this situation. It was then that matchmaker Mel made a point of the reason why we put you together, because you share similar qualities, and we're hoping that you will trust the process and follow it through, because we do see potential. I'm presuming they're thinking. I can't see it at the moment. I really can't. As far as I'm concerned, she doesn't fancy him. That's all I see. She doesn't fancy him. And it was not long after that, it was voting time. It was at that point, tears started rolling down her cheeks. In conclusion, they've both decided to stay. He's willing to try. She's willing to put more effort in. Oh dear. We're just going to have to wait and see now. Anyway, so that's the end of my review. If you'd like what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.